Say Something. It's like a podcast, but it's a vodcast, so you can listen and watch. It's like news talk or sports talk, but it's life talk, so we can walk the road together. On today's show, author, speaker, and Chewbacca Mom Candace Payne, a viral sensation with over 170 million Facebook views, chats with us today about joy. Y'all remember Candace? Here's a little refresher.
That's not me making that noise, it's the mask! Here, listen. Oh, I'm such a happy Chewbacca! I'm in tears. Wow. This is the best birthday present ever to myself. Wow. Oh my goodness. Y'all have an incredible day. It's the simple joys.
We're so excited Candace could join us today. Thanks for joining the conversation. Here we go. We are sitting here in the infamous Kohl's parking lot.
The Kohl.
We actually really are. And we're with Candace Payne. Candace Payne, author of Laugh It Up, is a viral sensation whose video of trying on a Chewbacca mask became the most viewed Facebook Live video to date. She has been featured in more than 3,000 media outlets, including GMA, The Late Late Show with James Corden, The New York Times, People, and many more. And we're so excited that you're here for so many reasons. And so Candace has a really terrific new book, and it's called Laugh It Up.
It is. You got a copy.
Look at that.
There it is.
Look at it.
And so we're so excited because...
It's bumpy right there.
Oh,
yeah. I want to see the bumpy.
There's texture.
It's
wow, I
it's got
love
some
that.
tactile.
Yeah, it's not just a flat hook, people. It's 3D.
And we didn't even add that into the cost. You just get it.
It's free.
Bonus.
That's with this fun conversation. You just get it for free. So we just wanted to hear a little bit about that. And so I think people want to know a little bit about how you even found the mask in Kohl. Walk us through that day a little bit.
Well, I was here with some returns. Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest to you, I didn't have a dime to my name that day.
Really?
No, the night before I gave away my last $20 to a lady in Popeye's Chicken because the Holy Spirit told me to.
Wow, I love that part.
I love that
And
too.
I needed to wait about another 8 days before I was going to have another $20, but it was my birthday week. And I don't know if you've ever lived off of gift cards and returns for a full day to find your little bit of happiness, but that was my day. So I came out here and I thought, I've got something I can return to Kohl's and I'm going to enjoy the day and maybe I'll find something else. And I went to that toy section because I couldn't find anything else I wanted for me.
Right.
And I bumped into something. I don't know what body part for sure bumped in, but something bumped into the Chewbacca mask and it made that sound.
So it made the sound when you bumped into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought, I haven't eaten that many tacos today.
That is so hairy. Like,
listen, I know my stomach and it makes those sounds. But I found out it was this mask and I thought, oh, that's funny. Because the mask itself, when I looked at it, I'd seen it a couple times.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's cute.
But you had no idea it made a sound.
No, none. And so when I discovered, oh my gosh, it makes these sounds, I started playing with the jaw and I thought, okay, I might want to get it. And then I looked at the sticker on it and it was clearanced.
Oh, so it was a no-brainer.
Well, it's God's approval stamp.
For sure.
There's no need to pray about it, no fasting. You pick it up and you go, thank you. And I walked to the counter in there and I just remember just getting that and thinking, this is mine. I'm going to enjoy this little thing. You know?
Yeah.
And I didn't film the video here.
Okay.
So I had gift cards to use. And I had a...
So you were on your gift
limit.
card. That's right. So you were going.
And you had kids pick up.
Yeah. And I had a free birthday drink from Starbucks. So I went to Starbucks.
They have free birthday drinks?
Oh, if you join their reward
You
program. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, there's a whole...
serious.
If you Google what free stuff can I get on my birthday, it'll pull up everything.
Well, thank you. Yet again,
Life.
thank you. Because
Life.
I had no idea.
It's so great.
Kinds of good things.
And then my mom had given me a gift card to Bath and Body Works. Listen, I don't care how old I am.
Yeah.
She still treats me as though I'm a prepubescent teen that needs to shower all the time. She's like,
oh my God.
Get some good smelling stuff. And I'm like,
I smell good, Mom.
Okay, well this time I might get candles because I've got like a whole cabinet
That
of
is so funny.
shower gels. But
Or that sparkly lotion. You remember that?
I accidentally, like 2 days ago, used what I thought was body spray. It was glitter spray.
Yeah, that's
Oh
good.
my gosh.
Your husband was like, yes, it is on.
No,
This
well,
is it.
he's like that all the time. But I was especially like Edward Cullen that day. You know, I'm walking
so
around in the
funny.
sunshine, like dying skin. It was just crazy.
Glowing.
But I thought, oh well, we'll just have a little extra glitter. Glitter is like the herpes of the craft world. It does not go away.
It does not go away.
So I found, anyways, that's an aside story.
Yes.
So I was at Bath and Body Works, and then I get in my car, and I had that Kohl's bag in the back seat, and it was like calling to me, like Jumanji drums. It was like, open me, play with me. I only
Okay,
had 30 minutes.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, and so I thought, oh, some other mom friends might really appreciate this. I'll just get online. Facebook's got something new called Live, and I've used it a couple times.
Yeah.
I'll see if anybody's here. And so
And
I just
there it went.
did that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this font in 8. I mean, that's what made it work.
Well, it's amazing. And so you end that hilarity, which I can't even believe it, but I had 2 friends. I told them I was meeting you.
Uh-huh.
And I go, well, it's the gal that did the Chewbacca mask. And they looked at me. I wish I was joking. And they were like, what? And I'm sort of like, what planet are you on? Like, where? Seriously? Like, you walk through
Honestly.
life and you do not know?
No, but that
And
means that I can still like shop places.
You bet.
Absolutely.
But you can actually.
Does it feel
so
like that?
I
Is it to
sent
that
them.
point in this area?
Yeah, I bet it
Yeah.
is.
I'm just trying to be in my pajamas and go to
Well,
the
you could
local
be
Walmart.
in your pajamas with these gals
Really?
until now though, because they watched
Come to
it.
Dallas.
But they watched it and they laughed, and it did what it did to so many people, and it made their day.
Oh,
Like
totally.
completely. I had one person that said, I just showed this to my kid, and he went from being so sour and crabby to
It
smiling.
was me.
Huh?
It was me.
Well, no, it wasn't. But
No,
it
it was
probably
last
too.
week, the day we were going to have the interview. He
But
was crying
so
to go to
did one
school,
of
and I
these
showed him, and
girls.
he was like laughing so hard he couldn't stop.
Well, one of these girls
Yeah.
did it to their adult son.
Wow.
And I was like,
I
it's
love that.
because it's what it is. It's the joy, and it's how you end it with the
contagious.
simple joys.
Yeah.
And one thing, and I did take notes, a few notes, but in your book,
Okay.
you say this. And I love it. It's like, when the infectious laughter died down, Candace Payne was another person just like you. And that's where I want people to know that you can engage with this book. And one of the things that you did so beautifully, it's behind the mask. And that, in this time in life when so many people are about to do pictures of their families and stuff, and the pic behind
Oh
the
my
pic just
gosh.
doesn't match the pic. It's
Yeah.
like, share with us a little bit about how joy informs Candace, the person behind the mask.
Well, I have to be honest with you. I have undervalued for a long time in my life the fact that I find joy in small stuff. Or the fact that I bring fun. Like, have you ever seen Tarzan, the animated one with Rosie O'Donnell? Is that
The
monkey?
little one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's one scene where she just comes in on the scene and she goes, "The fun has arrived," you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
My husband and I joke about that all the time. Like, he'll say, "You're that monkey from Tarzan, the fun.
Yeah,
You're the
you
fun.
are the fun."
You bring the fun." He said, "That's why I married you." If we're in somewhere boring, like maybe a church service that's old and stuffy, he'll text me when I walk in the room and he goes, "Thank God the fun is here." You know? And I'm
That
like,
is so cute.
it's those things that I think, okay, that's just a private joke between me and the husband. I
Right.
get it. But what I've really seen is that's a strength. And it's an
sure.
underrated strength that I never knew about myself.
Mm-hmm.
Until this moment when I'm sitting here going, are you kidding me? People just don't get this. They don't just get how you can be positive, how you can laugh it up at the spot and enjoy a moment and
No, I
enjoy
don't
the
think
smallest
people
things.
do.
Well, and I love that you said that day
Yeah.
you would give the day before you gave away your $20. So you were at this point of like going dollar by dollar. So it wasn't like you were
Yeah.
this like person who life is going.
Oh gosh, somebody said something
Awesome.
online and they were like, well, if I was a stay-at-home mom
Right.
Oh,
and
yeah.
could afford to go shopping at
Yes.
Kohl's and go do stuff for my birthday week, I'm sure I could laugh like that too. And I
Right.
was like,
Yeah.
you only
Well, and that's
knew.
what I feel like this is. It's that backstory,
Yes.
like you were saying, the behind the scenes
Yeah.
that you know
Yeah.
a lot more
Yeah.
what that's like to live dollar by dollar. And it feels like your
Yes.
parents kind of handed that down to you.
Yeah, my mom, she is one of those that is just always positive. And I watched that growing up, that even the most dire of news, and I'm talking like we've had some serious things hit us before.
And you share that.
And I would watch her react first. And she would just always
That
have
is so
this mindset
interesting.
of, well, I would see her take a breath, and then the next thing out of her mouth would be, so can we do something about it now? And I would
Thinking
think,
it forward.
yeah, we can. We can do this. And she goes, let's do that. We would do it. And then she'd go, can we do anything else? And I would say, I don't think so. And she goes, all right, then we're going to go get pizza. Or we're going to go to a movie. Or we're going to go play. Let's get a board game out. I mean, it was never a defining attitude that crushed our entire day. It was a small, brief roadblock and little speed bump for us to get over. And I watched that consistently in her. And, I feel like a lot of that was fostered by my mama's responses.
Boy, it's
That
so
speaks
profound and
volumes.
true.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Well, she's a great lady.
Well, like
She
you said,
sounds
how you
like a-
felt as a child. It seems like there was a lot of, this might be on the outside what the circumstances look like. We were in a hotel. We don't have a home, and yet
Yeah, we were in a van.
the feeling you had was
Which
love.
is so funny because you referred to Chris Farley at
I
some
know.
point,
I
and
know.
you've got it.
That's-
The van by the
Just
river.
addressed it. Address it. Because here's the reality of it right now in my life.
Yeah.
I am becoming a motivational speaker. I have lived in a van down by the river. And I just naturally act like him. So it's like, the first time I even knew Chris Farley existed, my mom yelled out from the living room, "Hey, hon, there's this boy on TV that looks just like
No,
you."
stop
And I
it.
ran to the
My
living
gosh.
room and I was like,
How'd that make you feel?
Not sure,
Boy,
not sure what to do with that
no, I
one,
had a
Mom.
mullet at the time.
Oh,
It was true.
okay.
It was so freaking true. It was bad. It was bad. It was bad.
Well, he is probably one of the funniest humans
Seriously.
that has ever lived,
He's
and
great.
he
Seriously.
was always spinning it to positive. So that's a
Yeah.
huge compliment.
It is. It
So anyway,
It is,
down
yeah.
the van by the river.
But it was you as
The
a
irony.
child.
It's hilarious.
But how you felt all the time, like you felt loved by your mom and dad. You felt joy. They would, like you said, they would point out the simple.
Well, and it
The simple
wasn't
things matter.
circumstance
It was
driven.
yes. I think that's huge. My kids can be in an amazing home, everything given to them, and have a terrible attitude.
I know.
Well, you know what
we all
I've
do that.
My
discovered
model.
is that there's two forms of joy.
Right. Okay.
And people like to joke about, well, not joke, they're serious.
No, they're serious.
Pastors are like, you can't be happy. What you want is joy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting here going, they're kind of both the same. You know what I mean?
Well, they're friends. They're very close. You have both of them together.
I've heard,
But there is
I've
a
heard all
nuanced
kinds of
difference.
definitions.
Absolutely.
About it.
Well, and I'll even have people correct me online. They'll be like, you mean that you, first of all, I don't really pay much attention when somebody starts out the phrase, you mean, or you
Right.
meant to say. But they'll say, you mean that, you found joy in Jesus and not just happiness. And I'm sitting here thinking, what's so bad about finding happiness?
Yeah, what's wrong with
Do
being
you know
happy?
Lisa Harper? I talked to her about happiness.
Oh,
She said it's okay to be happy. She's like, I'm with refugees in Greece. We're doing the hokey
oh my
pokey,
goodness.
and they're happy
Well,
for once. They have just
Yeah,
been
why
taken
would
from their
you
home.
want it? I
Yeah.
don't know. So
Well,
two kinds
see
of joy.
Two kinds of joy.
Happiness is more of the itty bitties. It is the simple joys. It's the things that are circumstantial to when they happen to you. They're happiness.
Right. Yeah.
They're things that happen, so they bring you happiness. And the other thing about that is that they just gratify.
Right.
They're very flash in the pan. They're fast and quick, and they feel good. But joy is that thing that satisfies. It lasts beyond whatever's happening around you. And the real joy that I think most people want is that joy.
Right.
But we're all doing the other gratification.
Yeah, because the second joy doesn't. It's consistent.
Yeah.
It's that steadfast rock that doesn't move. Which is why I know that you have it because of who that rock is. That it's a significant portion of your life. I love one thing you said about joy, because you personify joy, which I love that.
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
I mean, it's awesome, because not
a
everyone
recurring
gets
character.
to do that in writing. People are scared of personifying.
Well,
And
you're going to
so-
think people are going to, especially the Christian world, they're going to be like, does she know the difference?
I know it.
Does
Yeah.
she know it's not a real person? Does she even know it's from Jesus? You know what I'm sitting here thinking? I was thinking of all those things, and then I started looking at how Solomon wrote about wisdom.
Yes.
He said,
She's a
she
lady.
cries
She.
out aloud in the street. And when I went in scripture and looked at the first time I saw the word joy, it had a feminine connotation.
Where did you find it first?
It was in the Old Testament, and I believe it was in the book of Job.
Ooh, even more significant,
better.
isn't
Even
it?
more
Outside of
significant.
circumstances.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
don't quote me on that, Bible scholars.
We're gonna look it up right
But
now.
you
Lord, you,
see-
got somebody going, no, you didn't. I
Yeah,
just
but
got my coordinates.
We're very happy, and
You've been criticized.
No, this is all my
This is
spiritual
all
baggage
just-
from you.
It's all just coming up just now.
but we might make up words also, so just go with us.
Put
'cause
yourself
we're
out
really-
there, and I
It's
think
so
so
funny.
true.
I know you're on the verge too of releasing a book. So I think any author that's written a book,
Yeah.
you're about to put it out there, and you're like prepping yourself. Like someone's gonna say this. and
Oh,
someone's
but
gonna
you've
say
already
this.
lived the someone saying.
Well, that's true.
I
but
think-
not with your own words and your own story.
I think it's easier to disarm people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, here's the deal. If you're not a positive person, you don't approach conversations and listening positively.
Mm-hmm.
So when you listen, you're already criticizing, and you're already critiquing, and you're already judging everything that person's saying.
Right.
right.
The reason I know that is because I've been that person.
Mm.
You have?
Yes, I was wounded by a church, and about 5 years ago, I was about to throw in the towel on Christianity altogether.
Wow. Tell us about that.
Uh,
I want to hear more about that.
But I mean, like, seriously,
Wow.
and I became that hardened person that went, I don't trust anything that you say. And because of that, I felt like there were so many layers that people had to get through before I could actually listen to them.
Yeah.
And so I sense that with people that have that ear, I'm sensitive to them, because I remember, if God can soften this heart,
yeah.
I knew how much I needed to be disarmed. And I knew how much I needed somebody to just go, I'm not saying this. Don't get your panties in a wad. That's not what I meant. Here's the heart of what I'm saying.
So it really takes you to compassion when
Yes.
you're, yeah.
Yes. And people need to know, above anything else, listen, we value authenticity over integrity. You can screw up, and then 3 days later, if you give a heartfelt apology publicly, everybody's like, oh, they're so great. I don't even care what they did. They killed people. That's fine. They're great. It's so raw and fresh what we need with authenticity, and we're not getting it. And so the minute that you feel it from somebody, you go,
Finally.
that's good.
Yeah,
That's
I
good.
can breathe.
Yeah. Listen, our Thanksgiving's the one with paper plates, not the china. I ain't got time to impress people, you know?
You
totally
did a list, and I thought it was so awesome, because you said that used to you had a never list, and then you switched it to the always list.
Yeah.
And the always were like, I just wrote them down. I will always stay. I will always forgive. I will always hope for the best in
Yep.
Chris. I will always wipe the slate clean at the end of the day, which is so powerful.
really good.
I will always champion and fight for our marriage. And it's sort of like fill in the blank, because that was your marriage. And it's like you could do the I always list, which is so powerful. And
huge.
and so I just would love for you to talk about that for a little bit.
Well, it's like when somebody tells you, don't think about a pink elephant.
Say
And then
that
you
again?
don't think about a pink
Oh,
elephant.
and then that's all you can think
And then
about.
you're like, okay, sure, I'm not trying.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thought principle. Here I was telling myself, gosh, I just got to quit being a loser. I got to quit doing this. Quit being so rude to people when I'm in a line and I got a coupon and they don't like my coupon. Quit yelling at my kids. All the quits. Never do this, never do that. And that list was, I didn't even know where it ended. I
Isn't
didn't
that the
even
truth?
know where it ended. And at one day I was like, this list is going to kill me.
Yeah.
I knew it was killing my marriage, but I knew it was going to kill me. And I remember thinking, well, it was just that moment of clarity.
What clicked that you were like,
I
I'm doing the flip, because it's
listen.
like that. The always list is joy, and I know that's why you put it
positivity.
in here,
Mhm.
because that's the steadfast joy. And what clicked?
Okay, for us that know Jesus, it is the Holy Spirit himself.
Yeah.
It was it was that still, small, familiar voice that said, why are you saying never? Say always.
Ugh, it's just so good.
And that's when you go, okay, well, let me switch it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you think about, I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I have, you've put power in my hands. For the first time, I didn't feel powerless underneath the weight of all these expectations of things I should be doing and that I can't do. All of a sudden, now I had power to go, I'm going to do this every day. And if I don't, it's on me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not on that list. It's on me, whether I chose to do it or not.
It's like a vow. I've heard people have vows like that went after pain, after wounds. I will never let someone get that close to me. I will never trust anyone again. It's like a positive vow of putting energy
It's so
towards what you
powerful.
want to happen, not what you're avoiding or preventing happening again.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah,
Right.
I thought there was a lot of legs in that.
Much smarter people could probably explain that away better. But that
No,
was,
I think that is amazing.
That's why
we
need
that
these
was
little
exactly
nuggets.
what I was feeling at the moment, though.
I love it.
I thought it was powerful, and I also love this. Joy, but Joy doesn't fear the what ifs. She thrives on what can be.
You're the first one that's really highlighted that in a lot of these interviews that I've done.
It's
I
so
love
true,
that.
isn't it?
It is life change. If people can get that, they will
Listen,
have their
I will
life
make a little
changed.
meme out of this one and
Okay.
for you, and I will have it for you because that's so powerful.
It's massive. Most people struggle with anxiety. Why? They're fearing
Oh,
things that haven't even
gosh.
happened.
Yeah,
So
yes,
provide
it's
grace to get
absolutely
through
so
them.
good. She thrives, of course she's Joy on what can be. It's just,
Well, one is
staggering.
fear, one is hope.
oh, Candace.
One says, I'm going to fear everything that really hasn't happened, but maybe could. And the other one says, I'm going to hope that everything goes my way. What is wrong with doing that?
Was there a moment where this struck you most in your story? Where you were like, enough with the fear?
For me, it was more of perspective looking back
Okay.
when I learned that. I
Okay.
wish I would have learned it in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It would have saved a lot of heartache.
Maybe, but when you go through those things, it allows you to own it. Like,
I
you
do.
don't just think it, you live it.
Well, there's memory attached to it. Not just memory, but deep, deep relational wounds.
Yes.
Right.
Because here's the deal. My son and my daughter really want to read my book. They know this is book
I
world
was,
right now.
I was wondering
and I'm
that.
like, babies, y'all can't read it till you're older. You
Yeah.
can't read it
How
till you're
old are
older. Oh, they're 8 and 7.
Yeah.
No. They, first of all, there are things about my story with my son about how disconnected I was in my pregnancy and how I didn't want him. Didn't even believe I was going to have him. I don't want him to know that at his age right now to
Right.
think that mama didn't want him.
Right.
I want him to be able to process that from a different lens,
Right.
being much older, to understand that. But in that season, I was fearing every single day him not even living if I was going to have birth. I just thought
Every scenario you kind of
every
like worked out.
scenario,
Yeah.
and it kept this wall. I mean, we didn't set up a crib in his room until he was 8 months old.
Wow.
After he was born. It was that constant fear of I'm going to lose him. So as a mom, I didn't connect with my baby for the first 8 months of his life.
What switched?
Oh, it just
But the what ifs were killing you.
they were killing
But
me.
what won you over? Like what, for the mom that might be listening that's like, I feel that right now.
I think I was around my second round of postpartum depression. I was coming out of that in my mind, so there was a fog lifting there. But then it just was, am I going to do this every day?
Yeah, like,
I've got a baby that's almost walking. Am I doing this his whole life? I had that one thought of, this has to stop now.
yeah.
So when I say that statement, it very much so is attached to things I've lived. And I am very emphatic about the power and what can happen when you stop living in anxiety. And you just say, I'm going to hope for the best, and I'm going to follow that through. You know?
Yeah. We use that a lot in our house, not being overwhelmed by the things of this world, but just flipping it. Like you've flipped the never to always. And it's like, instead be overwhelmed by truth. Instead be overwhelmed by hope. Instead, go for what's real. And that's what I hear you doing, and it's so powerful the way you go through all the iterations of joy, even the frenemy of joy.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
Which the
Isn't that
frenemy
a fun-
is comparison.
Well, listen, she's the girl everybody wants to be. She, when you think about comparison, she starts off really nice and pretty, right?
Yeah.
Which a mean girl does. They act like they're your friend.
It's so true.
And they say, oh, just compare yourself to this because it's going to make you a better you. Just compare yourself to this because it gives you a gauge on what you need to work on. You know what I mean? And you start playing with comparison like that. And it may start, you mentioned Pinterest a second ago, it may start on somebody's Pinterest page going, oh, I wish I'd done that for my kid's birthday party.
Yes.
Oh, how can I do even more than that? Oh, I got this idea. And then all of a sudden, you're fully wrapped into somebody else's creativity and never once thinking, what could I do that's so personal for my kid that they would love, that we have here? What resources can we use here? You exhaust yourself trying to be other people.
And you mentioned you didn't realize your strength was that you bring the joy.
No.
And there's so many moms, women that feel like their strength is not important enough because they see this girl, her strength is she's a PTA pres, or this person, her strength is she can run this non-for-profit. But then you devalue what you're good at because it seems too easy. Well, that can't be that important. It's too easy.
Everybody thinks that with their giftedness.
I know, their giftedness feels like
so
not important.
Weird.
So
Women
joy,
especially
huge
are like,
value,
oh, I don't.
Obviously.
I can't be hospitable. And I'm like, you make everyone feel great when they're in your house.
Or in your presence.
Right.
I feel like hospitality can be like, we're just like together and you make me feel very welcome.
It's just so funny.
It's
like everybody wants somebody else's gift, which goes to the frenemy. I thought that was
you can't
hilarious.
have joy in your joy. Like what?
You know what's crazy too is we're really good at knowing our weaknesses.
Yeah,
yes.
that's right.
We're really good at knowing what we're not good at. And then we lift all of our decisions off of that.
Yeah.
Instead of going, all right, what's my strength? That needs to be my reserve for today. And you know what? Maybe you're not good at something because you don't need to be. Maybe there's nowhere in your freaking life you're supposed to be good at that.
Yeah.
That's okay. I know I'm not good at athletic things. That's fine. Do I find myself in a daily scenario where I need to run? No.
Hopefully not.
There are not bears chasing me.
Yeah.
There is nothing that inspires me to go, oh, I gotta get up and go. It's a scenario where I go, okay, where am I strong at? And God love, He's even given me children that need my strengths.
Oh,
And so I look at that thinking, my word, where I'm weak, I married somebody that's complete opposite of me. He's strong.
Yeah.
You know, you're not ever meant to shoulder everything. And we do. We're like, oh, I gotta take it all. And then you find yourself comparing your strengths, your weaknesses, whatever you're lacking, whatever you don't have, whatever you do have. And I will just tell you this, you'll never measure up.
No, it's so brutal, that measuring line.
No, it's stupid.
And it's fake. It moves. If you hit the spot, it moves.
Yeah.
It's elusive.
Yeah.
Well, and we as a body of believers, or we as a group of people, we miss out if you don't get your gift. Like you said, your children need you.
I know.
Your spouse
you're right.
needs you. I'm sure he benefits from your strength. Your friends need you. Like, we can't be carbon copies, clones to kick the Star Wars.
I'm sure
Like, it would be
Star
super
Wars.
boring. That would be super boring.
I'm sure there will be a time where I write about this soon. I haven't felt like I should yet, but I believe you're hitting something very specific that we're dealing with, and it's generational. Like, I feel like we're dealing with a Jacob and Esau issue right now. One of us has the blessing and the birthright, and we would gladly give it up for a meal, which sounds a lot like me, because if it was tacos, I'm in. You know what I mean? I'm
Want
like,
some stew.
Yeah. I'm like, that sounds great. Or you've got the other one that says, I want everything that person
And
has.
I'm willing to pretend.
And yet they're twins. They're both sons. And they look alike. And this is where I find, as you're talking about body of believers, this is an epidemic right now that's killing our church. It is, and I'm not talking about my local church, so, but I'm talking about the big C church. It is killing us from the inside out. It's trying to be the other one that we're not supposed to be.
We're missing out on ministry, even if like we don't need a big platform. God handed that to you through this Chewbacca thing, but not like there's moms I know they're doing amazing things, and they don't see it as valuable.
Yeah.
Because the value of the big C is a big platform sometimes. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I spent years trying to think, why wasn't I the next Carrie Job or the next Bethel worship leader and all that?
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know if people know what a good singer you are.
I know.
That
was really interesting.
That's a legitimate wonder.
I mean, that's a whole other storyline in this. Is like you've been getting your
and
guitar
here
and all
is
this
laying
jazz.
the issue. It's 33 minutes.
No, how did we get there?
All right, so we're going to ask
we
you.
just talk. We just
I know, we could
We're
talk
girls, we
and
just
talk.
Oh.
So we have a friend, Brenda, that is often a part of the interview, and she goes to Dr. Evans' church, and so there is always a charge at the end of things. Like, what's your charge that you would give people? And I'm just curious, just like, what's that thing that's a takeaway?
I feel like there's so many things that you can really take away, even from the book. There's so many colors and layers about joy. But I would think the most important place to start is being comfortable in your own skin. Be comfortable with who you are.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, God created you a certain way, and he didn't mess up. And the moment you figure that out, the joy part gets easier and easier and easier to embrace, because you're not at a war trying to figure out how to be something you're not. I'm nearing 40 and I don't have time to care anymore. You know what I mean? I think that happens kind of around this age where you're like, I ain't got time.
Yeah.
And I really don't have time to try to play a game of being somebody I'm not meant to be.
Okay. So you heard it right here.
Yeah.
You don't have to play a game of being somebody that you're not meant to be.
Don't play to pretend to be Chewbacca.
No, and it's a waste of time, and it's depressing. It just is. So anyway, there's the charge from our new friend Candace, and so we just hope that today, as you go forth, that you will say something encouraging to that person that you're walking alongside. Even that encouragement to just be who you're created to be, and accept yourself that way, and encourage someone else in the same manner, because as it crosses your lips, you get to hear it too. So thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
And,
Thank you.
Anyway, thanks for joining us.
Yes.
Thanks again for joining the conversation. We love hanging out with you guys. Want to stay connected? Like or follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel or follow us on Instagram. See you next time on Say Something.